Summary of Secretly Yours, a novel written by Tessa Bailey. Chapter 1. Hallie Welch stood in the shadow of the standing mixer in the back corner of Fudge Judy, her mind buzzing with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. The abrupt halt of Uncork's disco ball had been her rebellious act, a small but meaningful protest against the encroachment of the flashy new wine shop on Grapevine Way. As she hid, catching her breath, the consequences of her impulsive decision started to unfold. Mrs. Cross, the owner of the nearby coffee shop, had become the latest defector. Lured away by Uncork's text alerts and unconventional wine pairings. The eclectic charm of Corked, Hallie's favorite wine shop, seemed to be fading away, replaced by the allure of hot sauce and wine fountains. Hallie couldn't shake the sinking feeling that her efforts might not be enough to save the place that held countless memories, particularly those spent with her grandmother, Rebecca. As she contemplated the repercussions of her actions, Lavinia, the donut artist and British transplant, walked into the kitchen, a mischievous gleam in her eyes. "Without asking me any follow-up questions, can I hide in your kitchen?" Hallie's longtime friend didn't hesitate. "Behind the standing mixer. Be quick about it." The two friends shared a camaraderie that went beyond the shared space of Grapevine Way. Lavinia was familiar with Hallie's bouts of impulsivity, often landing her in amusing yet precarious situations. Hallie found solace in the company of someone who understood the need for a clandestine escape. "Thank you," Hallie squeaked, catapulting herself into the air-conditioned haven of Fudge Judy. She speed-walked past the curious gaze of customers, her colorful woven crossbody purse slapping against her hip. Once inside the kitchen, she breathed a sigh of relief and embraced the opportunity to regroup. "Hello, Jerome," she called to Lavinia's husband, who was busy glazing donuts. "Those bear claws look beautiful." Jerome, a former detective from Los Angeles with a gruff exterior, observed Hallie over the rim of his glasses and offered a slightly judgmental hum. "Whatever this is, don't drag my wife into it this time." Hallie saluted Jerome with a playful grin. "No dragging." Message received. Lavinia entered the kitchen, the smell of parliaments trailing behind her. "Care to explain yourself, missus?" "Oh, nothing, I just sabotaged a certain disco ball outside of a certain wine shop." Hallie slumped against the wall. "We had another defector." "Mrs. Cross." Lavinia's expression mirrored a mix of disgust and amusement. "The one who owns the coffee shop? These hoes ain't loyal." She mimicked Hallie's posture, leaning against her husband's back. "Well, I know where I won't be buying my afternoon coffee." "The one you pour half into the garbage and replace with whiskey?" Jerome interjected, earning himself an elbow in the ribs. "I knew you would understand," Hallie said, reaching a hand toward Lavinia. "Oi. Course I do." Lavinia grimaced. "But even I can't do any more daily wine tastings at Corked. Yesterday I gave away 3 dozen free donuts, and told the postman I love him thanks to a Beaujolais buzz." "Yes." Hallie replayed the whine of the disco ball grinding to a halt and her subsequent getaway jog. "I'm starting to think the daytime alcohol consumption might be affecting my behavior in a negative way." Jerome coughed a laugh. "What's the excuse for your behavior before you started attending daily wine tastings?" he asked. He leaned back against the metal table, arms crossed over his barrel chest. "When I was on the force, we would have called this an escalation." "No," Hallie whispered in horror, gripping the strap of her bag. "Leave her be, Jerome," Lavinia scolded, swatting her husband on the arm. "You know what our Hallie has been through lately. And it is distressing to watch everyone migrate over to Uncorked, like a big lot of lemmings. Too much change, all at once, innit, babe?" Lavinia's sympathy caused a pang in Hallie's chest. God, she loved her friends. Even Jerome and his brutal honesty. But their kindness also made Hallie feel like the sole upside-down crayon in a box of Crayolas. She was a 29-year-old woman hiding behind a standing mixer after committing disco ball sabotage and interrupting the workday of 2 normally functioning people. Her phone buzzed incessantly in her purse. The 3:30 appointment, no doubt, wanting an explanation for her tardiness. It took her a full minute to fish the buzzing device out of her packed purse. Hello? Hallie. This is Veronica over on Hollis Lane. Are you still planning on landscaping my walkway this afternoon? It's past 4 o'clock now, and I have early dinner plans. 4 o'clock? How long had she been brooding across the street from Uncorked, pretending to read the same Nancy and Sluggo comic strip over and over? That's fine. Go ahead and take off. I'll be over to get started soon. But I won't be home to let you in, explained Veronica. Hallie opened her mouth and closed it. Your garden is outside, right? Yes, but, well, I should be here to greet you, at least. The neighbors should witness me acknowledging your arrival, so they don't think you're trespassing. And oh fine, maybe I wouldn't mind supervising a little. I'm very particular. There it was. Hallie's personal kiss of death. A client wanting to control the flower narrative. Her grandmother had been patient with that sort of thing. Listening carefully to a customer's demands and gently guiding them over to her camp. Hallie didn't own a pair of kid gloves. She could produce beautiful gardens bursting with color and life, and she did. All over St. Helena. Keeping the name Becca's Blooms alive in the spirit of the grandmother who had raised her from age 14. But she didn't have a method to her madness. It was all gut feelings and mood planting. Chaotic, like the rest of her life. That's what worked for her. The madness kept her busy and distracted. When she sat down and tried to get organized, that's when the future seemed too overwhelming. Hallie, chirped Veronica into her ear. Are you coming? Veronica, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, she said, swallowing, hoping her grandmother couldn't hear her from heaven. With it being late June and all, I'm afraid my schedule is bursting at the seams a little. But I have a colleague in town who I know could do a fabulous job on your garden, and he's much better at interpreting a specific vision than I am. I'm sure you've heard of Owen Stark, seen his name around town. I'm going to call him as soon as I hang up and have him give you a ring. Hallie ended the call a moment later. Well, my evening is free now. Maybe I'll go knock over a convenience store. Do steal me a pack of small oaks while you're at it, Lavinia said. Jerome pushed off from the table and came over to Hallie. Do you need a smoke, babe? I think you're having a day. She nodded. I'm having a day. I'm having a week. It's been a month of days. And Owen Stark can suck it. Oh, you're in a mood today, aren't you? Lavinia eyed her. Can you blame me? She asked, packing the last shreds of her sanity back into her colorful purse. Things are going south, and I've been drinking too much wine. I had to pee in the alley last night behind El Farolito because my Uber didn't come in time. I have itches from God knows what insect bites. I have no clean clothes at home. I'm out of pot, but I don't even know if that's helping or hurting at this point. There's a cricket somewhere in my car that chirps at the same time as my text alert, and I can't figure out where it is. I've been driving around with a car seat in my back seat for 3 weeks because I'm too lazy to take it out. I have 4 parking tickets I haven't paid. I let my car insurance lapse. My mom thinks I'm depressed. I haven't slept with a man in months. And the hottest man I ever knew is back in town. Lavinia lit 2 cigarettes and handed one to Hallie. Well, shit. I need to change, Hallie decided suddenly. I need to wash my face and put on something nice. I need to go and visit Julian Voss at Voss Vineyard. Julian Voss is back in town, asked Lavinia. How do you know? Word travels fast in this town, honey. Fast as wildfire. Jerome placed a firm hand on Hallie's shoulder. You need a nap and a vacation. Not to go hitting on Julian Voss, because you're having a bad day. Hallie shook her head, her heart rate elevating at the mere mention of Julian's name. No, Jerome. I don't need a nap or a vacation. I need a change. I need to do something impulsive and unpredictable for once in my life. I need to live. Lavinia took a drag from her cigarette, blowing a perfect smoke ring. Are you sure about this, love? Because it sounds like you're on the brink of a midlife crisis. Hallie laughed, the sound both bitter and genuine. Maybe I am. But maybe a midlife crisis is exactly what I need right now. A little chaos to break up the monotony of my existence. With that declaration, Hallie Welch, flower enthusiast and impulsive adventurer, made her way to the bathroom of Fudge Judy. As she stared at herself in the mirror, she wondered what her grandmother would say if she could see her now. Would Rebecca approve of the woman she had become? Or would she chide her for losing touch with the grounded traditions of Becca's blooms? The reflection in the mirror revealed a woman on the cusp of change, her eyes filled with a mix of determination and uncertainty. The vibrancy of her floral dress clashed with the chaos that swirled within. Yet, for the first time in a long while, Hallie Welch felt alive with the prospect of the unknown. With newfound resolve, she straightened her dress, dabbed on a bit of lipstick, and headed out of Fudge Judy, leaving behind the familiar scent of donuts and the comforting presence of her friends. The uncertain path ahead beckoned, and Hallie embraced the chaos, ready to confront the unexpected twists that awaited her, whether in the form of Julian Voss or the wild unpredictability of life itself. Chapter 2. Julian Voss shifted uneasily in the leather executive chair as his mother, Corinne, entered the room. The rhythmic ticking of his watch filled the silence that lingered between them. Corinne's sharp gaze assessed the room, and with a small smile, she acknowledged Julian's commitment to his writing schedule. The conversation pivoted to the upcoming Wind-Down Napa Festival, where Corinne suggested Julian's presence would benefit the family's vineyard. Julian, sensing an unspoken tension, offered to support but couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story. As the discussion continued, Corinne's eyes flitted between the rows of vines visible from the office window. Laden with history and symbolic of the family legacy. The mention of increased competition and the need for Julian's attendance at the festival hinted at challenges the vineyard faced. Julian, despite having been estranged from the family business for the past 4 years, felt a sense of responsibility tugging at him. The atmosphere became charged when Corinne disclosed the impending arrival of a gardener, tasked with planting begonias. Julian's meticulous nature recoiled at the vague approximately 3 o'clock arrival time. The clash between their personalities and priorities became evident, as Corinne dismissed the significance of flowers, while Julian's disdain for imprecision, especially the word approximately, flared. The subtle power struggle, ingrained in their family dynamics, played out in their interaction. Julian, with his structured life and adherence to schedules, clashed with Corinne's more flexible approach. The mention of the gardener's arrival became a metaphorical battleground, a clash of ideologies. As Corinne gracefully exited, promising only an approximately 3 o'clock arrival, Julian found himself torn between complying with his mother's request for festival attendance and his innate desire for control over his time. The unresolved tension left a lingering uncertainty in the air. Alone once more, Julian contemplated the implications of the festival commitment. He recognized that beneath the surface of family pleasantries, there was a deeper narrative, a story of a struggling vineyard, family expectations, and a rift that had kept him away for years. The request to attend the festival felt like an invitation to re-enter a world he had consciously distanced himself from. The scene closed with Julian, standing in the quiet kitchen, his mind wrestling with the complexities of family obligations and personal ambitions. The symbolic ticking of his watch echoed the ticking of time, both within the narrative and in Julian's internal struggle. The guest house, nestled amidst the vineyards, became a microcosm of the larger Voss family saga, and Julian was left to navigate the uncertain path that lay ahead.